Today we're going to be talking, it's a pretty sad, I think, article, to be honest. It's about Sébastien Chabal, if you remember him.
Oh, le renversement est bon.
Michalak pour Chabal. Feinte la passe. Il reste debout, Chabal. Oh, il reste debout. Énorme!
On that low centre of gravity of his. Redden gets the ball away. Big hits coming in there by Mr. Chabal. That is a taste of things to come, I think. Maybe he follows it up with yet another one. You'd like to be on the end of that one, Frankie?
Oh, good God, I haven't seen such a hit in a while. That was an incredible hit, and what a start. I mean, a kick-off in, and here we see it again. That's what we spoke about earlier, Bob. The meeting of the number 8s. It's going to be a ferocious battle.
And as you could see, you know, he was a beast. He was one of the favorites, even down here. You know, when I lived in New Zealand, you know, many people respected the way that he played rugby because he was so ferocious. The hair, you know, the big hits, all that type of stuff. But the only thing we really seen of him back then was obviously when he came and played against, you know, the Box or at the World Cup or played against the All Blacks. So you don't really get to see much of him. But when you did, you're like, wow, this dude's the man. And it's sad to read this article, which we'll run through. And it's about the amount of concussions he's had and the memory loss. And I think there's two things on this. There's two sides of me reading this article. You know, obviously, it's very sad that this has happened. And unfortunately, this is a choice you make, especially if you have a career in rugby or if you play rugby for many years, even unprofessionally, whatever, just socially. These are the risks you take. And I think we all know that, especially nowadays when since court cases and, you know, the new laws of the head knocks and all that type of stuff. And it's sad to see that that's from his era, obviously, that it's happened. So this was before all the head knock things and all the safety. So it's sad to read it, but we'll go through it as I believe he deserves the recognition and also to bring his name back up. But let's have a read. If you do enjoy this sort of content too, then hit that like button, comment as well. Let me know what you think about the article and what you thought of Sébastien Chabal while he was playing rugby. And also subscribe as well. Hit that subscribe button right below the video. All it is one click. It's free. And then you're part of this community. So let's get into it. Why bother? My memory won't return. Rugby icon's tragic admission. I have the impression it wasn't me. Yeah, tough to read. You know, I've been playing rugby now for, what would it be, 26 years now. Obviously never played professionally, just a bit of rep rugby and all that type of stuff. So to see someone who's played at such high levels, and just in case if you don't remember, Chabal he's a French international rugby player back in the day, and he played for some top clubs, as you can see, like Bourgogne, Sale Sharks, Racing Metro, and also Lyon. He's now 47, and he also played 62 caps for France as well. So he's a very decorated rugby player. And you can see here, so the French rugby legend Sébastien Chabal has revealed he can't remember anything of his storied career, potentially due to the toll of concussions. And this screams out to one of my friends, Vincent. He went to the same school as I went to, and even in high school, we were only about 16, I'd have to say, and he already had about 9 concussions. And at that point, the doctor said, you got to stop playing, you know, and he pretty much said, I'm going to play one more year, one more season, and then he's done. So that's another career just shut, you know, short, very, very short. 9 concussions before the age of 17, you know, it's quite harrowing. I guess not all of us are lucky. I'm lucky. I've probably only had about 3 concussions. And, you know, I'm this sort of player who has always and probably will always, you know, you get concussed, you don't remember what happened. I remember there was one, we played at North Harbour Stadium and pretty much went in for a tackle on the line, prop taps it, he's running for that try line, big tough prop. And all I remember is going down for the tackle. Next thing I remember is waking up, I'm behind the try line. And someone, you know, the coach asking, you're right. Yeah, I'm good. I know what I'm doing. And I remember lining up and I was like 3 meters behind the try line because they ended up, obviously they're on the line, you know, going for the try. And eventually when I came to, but then after the game, I don't remember getting to the changing rooms. I don't remember anything from the game. I just remember that one moment sort of thing. So, and it's happened probably 2 or 3 times where, you know, you get the knee, you put the head in the wrong spot and you get kneed in the side of the head and you get knocked out and you kind of come to again, but you forget the game. Like, you know, that's all things that we know. And if you've played rugby as well, you've probably experienced the same as well. And I guess a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I mean, I don't hear too many kind of podcasts or channels talking about that these knockouts happen, and it happens a lot. I think the worst ones maybe is if you hit the ground and your brain, you know, touches it. But yeah, it's all part of it at the end of the day. And as long as you take care of yourself, you know, you take the time off. Even here in club rugby, you know, if you get knocked out, the ref gives you a blue card. So you got to go off for the rest of the game, and you can't play the next game as well. So you got to have a 10-day window before you can do any sort of contact. So, you know, obviously the steps are there now, but obviously not back when Shabal was playing. So he now says he can't remember any of his tests or even the birth of his daughter. It's sad, eh? And I have no memory of a single second of a rugby match I played, he said on a YouTube show, and I don't remember a single one of the 62 Marseillaises, sorry to all the French viewers, I can't pronounce it all, the French anthem that he experienced. That's Shabal there in a picture. I have a few childhood memories. I think it's because people told me about them. I don't have this memory of past moments. When I talk about it at home with my wife, I tell her that I have the impression that it wasn't me who played rugby, and since I always thought I was a bit of an imposter since I got there a bit by chance. With the fact not remembering, I have impression that it wasn't me, he says. Yeah, it's very weird. I guess it must be weird if you don't remember any games and then you rewatch yourself playing those games. I guess that'll be a bit of that's nearly like an inception moment, right? Where it's a dream within a dream. So players suffering from neurological conditions such as early onset dementia and Alzheimer's has been an ongoing talking point in the sport over the past few years. So I think, you know, it's getting to the point. So apparently, look at that. In December 2023, it was revealed that 295 former players are suing World Rugby and Rugby Football Union, the Welsh Rugby Union, for allegedly failing to put in place reasonable measures to protect the health and safety of players. You know, what I say to these 295 players, come on, man. Like, seriously, you knew the risks that you take when you play rugby. You know, don't ruin it for everyone else. All right, just don't ruin the sport for everyone else where there literally will be no contact anymore. That's the way it's going, and that's because of these players. If, you know, take the steps now where if you get knocked out, you know, the refs they take you off, the doctors take you off, do your test. If you fail, then you stay off, you know what I mean? And don't go and sue them, because we've seen it in the NFL, right? We've seen it in the NFL where these players sued them, they got millions of dollars, they changed all the rules. Now there's like no contact at all, even though they have helmets, etc. And the sport that the most concussions happen in out of anything is football, soccer. You know, heading the ball, all that type of stuff. It's the highest rate of concussions. But you don't see people, you know, doing court cases against them. So it's just people trying to, in my opinion, getting a payday because, you know, maybe their career is cut short. Maybe they have a mental condition. Maybe something actually happened to them, which is horrible. But I know for a fact that when I go and play for my local club, you know, tomorrow on Saturday, that I have a chance of getting knocked out and me losing my memory too. These are the risks we take. I mean, we've all heard about people getting spear tackled or dying in the game. We've heard of people like that, right? So we know what the risks are. You don't have to try and get a payday just because, you know, unfortunately something bad happened to you. That's just my opinion, because it'll ruin it for the next generations. Just because you want to get a payday, now the next generations will have to, you know, only tackle low or whatever it might be. Like any sort of head contact, red cards. It just destroys the spectacle of rugby as well, just because these 295 players want to go get a payday. But yeah, that's my opinion. I mean, do you agree? If you agree, let me know below. What's your take on it? Do you think that these players should be able to sue them? Or do you believe that these players, you know, are going to ruin it for the future generations? And what do you think about the contact rules at the moment? Because, you know, it pisses me off, to be blunt, is any sort of head contact now is like a yellow card or a red card. And, you know, any sort of contact, even albeit the softest contact you'll ever see or accidental, you know, everything nowadays just seems to be cards. And I think that's, you know, this is a direct correlation from these people suing and the amount of cases they've had of people in the past also trying to sue because of these head knocks. Look, it's, you know, reading those comments from Shabal, it's horrible, you know, not remembering the birth of his daughter, not remembering the games. No one will be able to tell, you know, if this is true, if it is not. Is he part of these players trying to sue? You never know. At the end of the day, if that's true, it's very, very sad, and we all can agree that, and the whole rugby, you know, community, the whole world will agree that that is very sad. But at the end of the day, we know what the risks are when we put our feet on that rugby field. We know what can happen. But anyway, I'll end it on that. Let me know your comments, like I said, below. If you did like the video, please hit that subscribe button right below the video. You'll be able to see my future videos. We'll be able to talk about rugby. And like the video if you liked it. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.